currently by myself in the commentary box. Unfortunately, Spud is at a dinner, so we currently have the cars for the top 6 shootout for the St Croix 1500k race, which will go live tomorrow at 9:30 AM. We've had 2 days of qualifying. And my headset's being a pain again. So we've had 2 days of qualifying on Thursday and Friday night. Overall, we have the fastest 6 cars, and I think these have been the fastest 6 cars on the last 3 Enduros, but or one of anyway. So at the moment, according to qualifying, we have car 95 in myself and Matt, who was fastest. Matt did a 2:53.044. Then we have car number 1 in Diswood and Lunacy, which they did a 53.5. Jerem 50 and Captain Muffin in the other CP car, who did a 53.6. Speedy Tyres and Captain Risky in the first of the satellite Nissans in a 2:53.676. EBM Brandosa and John in the other It's Racing car with a 2:53.7. And then the last satellite racing car in the 2:53.8, which Ridwan set on Friday night. So Ridwan is the first car to go out on track. He's just doing a bit of a warm up there, and he's gonna be at 150% commitment for this one, I think. So whatever the final results are for this one, this is how we'll start the grid tomorrow morning. So from position 7 all the way down to 14 is set, and this will then set the top 6. So even though myself and Matt are on the front row, or on pole position currently, it is only provisional. So if there is the case that something happens to Matt, we can end up starting 6th. So, but we don't want to have any bad juju with that one. But at the moment, we've got Ridwan here in the number 56 satellite racing car, coming around the final corner to start his flying lap of his top 6 shootout. So you've got one shot and one shot only. And I do apologise in advance if my microphone does cut out. It seems to cut out itself. But he's got a really good run here down the front straight coming into turn 2. So you got to brake about the 150, 140 mark to try and get it stopped, and then the long run down this little straight. So you have a bit of a brake, and then you'll go hard on the brakes, roughly about the 150, 140 again, for a hairpin, a right-hand hairpin. So it's what Spud was saying, it's just shy of 11 kilometers. So we're doing 1500 k's. So I think we'll be doing roughly about 100, 120, 130 laps tomorrow. So it's going to be a long day. As Woodsy said, it would be about roughly 10 hours of racing. So we've got co-drivers for this one. Ridwan does have Viper Z lining up with him, so he seems to be going not too bad so far. He's put in a pretty clean run at the moment. 52.2 through the cumulative sector of sector 2. So sector 2 is one of the hardest sectors to get right, and it seems that he's got it pretty well. Looks like he missed a bit of an apex there on that one. So wait and see what he does down here, because this is one of the harder things to do down here, coming through this section. You got to really get the weight of the car transferred from the right to the left, and then get it stopped for the run onto the bridge. So he's doing a pretty solid job here to be first out. You know, it's never good to be first out in the shootout, because then, you know, you're by yourself. You don't know where the speed is or what's going on like that. So essentially, you know, and you don't have any benchmark time. So we'll wait and see. But looks like he's having a really good run here at the moment. Oh, he runs wide there through that corner and picks up front aero damage. So that's a bit unfortunate there for Ridwan. He looked like he was on for a pretty decent time. But that really is going to hinder him. So you're coming down here. Usually you're doing about 325, 326. So he's losing about 10 Ks down that straight. So yeah, that's a massive effect on the car with the damage. You know, he got damage on his shootout lap at high speed ring, and it definitely hindered him. He started sixth, I believe it was, and then he started fourth or third, I believe, at Bathurst. So pretty unfortunate there, but he's still at what would be 100% commitment. You know, he's still got to try and get around her and put her in the best position, because there's anything possible. You know, that's one of the most common places to get damage here, is he comes around the final corner. Should be on for about roughly a 54, 55-ish. So he comes through and he sets a 55.7 there. So first out, Ridwan sets a 55.7. So that's a pretty decent time there. I do believe that was faster than his time to get in. So no, he did a 53.8. Sorry, my apologies. So he's 2 seconds off the pace. So unfortunately, that's what can happen when you hit the wall and you do get a bit of aero damage for that one. So pretty unfortunate there for Ridwan and Viper Z, but we'll just wait and see how the rest of the grid pops up. But next up we have John 27 TCT partnering with EBM Brandosa in the number 34 It's Racing car. Obviously, you know, my teammate John's doing an outstanding job so far in this Enduro series. We can't thank him enough. You know, him and Brandosa as well as Matt, all the boys from the It's Racing Esports, they've definitely stepped up to the plate to try and take it to the CP boys. So, you know, he got him in the top 6 shootout, and he's definitely found some speed in the car that, you know, I don't even think he knew that he had. So we'll just wait and see what he can do on his warm-up lap. So looks like he's taking a bit of a different approach here. You know, he's not weaving or anything like that, but the tyre model is definitely a very interesting one. It's changed since the last update. It's definitely changed how the car handles and stuff like that. But we got Brandosa in the chat here, so we got John's co-driver. So they're co-driving with each other, so they'll jump in the car for being 5 stints. One will do 3, one will do 2. Obviously got minimum laps tomorrow, so it's a long out lap. It's roughly about 3 minutes 10, 3 minutes 15. So it's about roughly 6 or 7 minutes for each car by the time they do their out lap, and then they do their flying lap. We've got Brian in here as well. He's also part of the It's Racing Esports boys, so he's around all the time supporting us, and it definitely goes a very long way. John seems to have this car pretty handled and pretty settled so far at the moment. Coming onto the bridge, he's just getting this thing heated up, warmed up for he's ready to tackle this long circuit for his top 6 shootout. Just hopefully he doesn't get any damage or anything like that on this outlap, because that would then definitely hinder him. So this will be probably one of the main corners where you're going to lose or gain what would be a bunch of time. You know, you can lose anywhere up to 5 or 6 tenths going around there, but you can also gain that. But yeah, so John, he's definitely stepped up to the plate in the Enduro series. You know, we're doing a solid job, and he's jumped in for us as a reserve, and we couldn't thank him enough. You know, we have our banter, but you know, he steps up to the plate when he needs to, and he does what he needs to. So he's doing a solid job at the moment. Coming through, about to start the last sector for his run. We've got Jarman Dallas as well in the chat, who's the current owner of It's Racing Esports. So we'll wait and see if John can beat a 55.7. So he goes around the final corner to start his lap for sector split is here. He should be running about a 21.6 or 21.5. It didn't come up, so luckily a good old GT7 it doesn't come up with this one. So he's currently unknown at the moment on what he's there, but I'm sure it would have come up on his screen, and he knows what he's got to aim for. Is he has a really nice exit out of there. that car really steady. He's got this thing tuned up pretty massively. Really nice line. Nice exit out of that corner there. So this is the end of sector 2 here. And no sector split again. So this is really a bit of a pain for us. You know, we can't see if he's up, if he's down. So it's definitely pretty nerve-wracking. We've got to wait for him to go through the last corner to see if he is up or not. You know, when he comes onto the main straight. Nice run down here onto the bridge, carries a lot of momentum to there. That's an outstanding run that he had to there, carrying about 140 k's. That's roughly about where you want, so he's definitely got this thing tuned in. Jump on board with him here for a run over the bridge. Misses the apex slightly there. Lost a bit of time there, but that's fine. Didn't hit any walls, so that's good. Hug it in wide, get hard on the gas, keeps it out of the wall. Now for the long, what I would guess would be roughly about 1.5 to 2 k's of length straight, you know. He should be cracking roughly about 325, 326. Just got to get that thing pulled up down here, you know, it's not hard, you know. Just over a ton of weight with what would be 800 horsepower. It's not an easy thing to do with a lot of aero. And, you know, a good old thing that Brian says, you know, you take the fastest GT cars in the world and you give them even more power, being a high RPM turbo and then a big wing. Wood's come through here, he's a 10th up. So he's a 10th up on that sector. So looks a little bit slow, but we'll wait and see what he does here. Comes around the last corner, should be on for a low 55 here. 55.669, so that's currently provisional P1. The straight reminds you of the old Mulsanne straight at Le Mans before they had the chicanes. Definitely, it's a very long chicane. Sorry, it's a very long straight there. So up next we've got Speedy Tyres here. In the number 41 Satellite Racing Nissan GTR. So we'll definitely wait and see what he can do. He got into the shootout with a 253.67, so I do think it was a little bit faster than his teammate in Captain Risky. But we'll just wait and see what he does here. Get the tyres up to temp. I think Speedy Tyres has really been a bit of an underdog this year. You know, he was a co-driver last year and the year before that. Last year was co-driving with Diswood, and they actually won this event last year. So him and Diswood are currently the reigning champions of the 2021 St Croix 1500. But this year they're actually driving in separate cars. So Diswood will be after Jerem, Captain Muffin and his teammate. So we'll wait and see what he can do. But yeah, Speedy got in with a 2:53.676. So we'll wait and see if we can beat that time coming around here. But as we always say, you know, it's an endurance race. And it's going to be a long day, and anything can happen come the end of the race, which should be roughly about 4 or 5 o'clock in the hour. But you really got to set yourself up here in this last sector for a really nice run onto the straight. Don't miss this apex or try and run onto the grass, but he looks like he's set himself up really nicely there. Jump on board with Speedy in the good old cockpit view. But Speedy's actually going through his HSC at the moment, same as Ridwan. They're currently going through their Year 12 HSC, so they're currently juggling exams and sleep and racing enduros and racing stuff like that as well, as he goes 2/10 faster through Sector 1, so he's already on for a low 55 here. So we'll wait and see what he does through the next lot of sectors, but anything is possible. You know, he's seen him hit the wall at High Speed Ring, and unfortunately didn't entered late for the shootout, so they missed out the top 6 shootout at Bathurst. So yeah, I think he's got a bit of a redemption. Ooh, he goes 0.9 faster, so he's definitely on here for a low 54 if he keeps this time up. This cockpit view with these lights and these shadows is really distracting. He gets really taily there coming onto the bridge. He's up by 1.3, so this will be 2:54.3 at the moment. Sure he gets a nice one on here and he doesn't hit the wall, just like what his teammate did. Paul runs really close there to that wall. And now, as I said, 1.4, so he's only going to 10th on John, but he's on currently for 2:54.2-ish, roughly. Get this sector split very shortly through this left-hander. 1.5, so he's on for a 54.1. Makes a nice run here through the last corner. Speedy tyres in at number 41, sets himself a 2:54.056, which is currently for position 1, so he's actually pipped his teammate by 1.7. So that's a nice time there for Speedy tyres. Next up we have Captain Muffin in the number 50 CP Motorsports Honda NSX. So we do have 3 NSXs and 3 Nissans in this shootout. Sorry, 4 NSXs and 2 Nissans. My apologies. So we've got obviously both It's Racing esports cars and both CP cars. And then Satellite. So we've got 3 teams in the top 6 with each of their cars currently there, but as we were saying in the earlier broadcast, between position 2 and position 6 it was actually just under 2/10 separating position 2 to position 6, which in the grand scheme of things really isn't that much. makes a massive mistake there coming onto the corner. He's lucky he didn't get any damage. That would have been massive if he did get damage there. Captain Muffin. Maybe that 250 Ks that he's just done is probably getting to him. You know, the car's a lot different to that car. He's got to get used to the bigger wing and the big turbo. So I was lucky to keep it out of the wall there. That was a very close one. Actually, after this round, we have 6 rounds to go. So we go next weekend. We head to Watkins Glen for the New York Sprint. We have 32 lap races for 125 Ks. After that, we then go to Trial Mountain for the throwback round. So we'll see a couple of throwback liveries on the cars from the old Track Stars Hot Wheels collection. So those liveries will get done up with all the sponsors and stuff like that. So they've all been chosen, and they'll all be running those liveries there at Trial Mountain. After that, we'll then head to Deep Forest for 229 lap races. That'll be on November 20. November 27th, we are heading to Daytona again for the Daytona 250. So we're going to the Daytona road course. After that, we then go to Fuji. And then final round is at Suzuka for the 200k race at Suzuka. Now we head back to the track here. We've got Captain Muffin who's starting his lap. I think they're running a little bit more downforce than what some of the other cars are. They're not exactly catching as much speed down the straight, but don't always count that out. You know, it's definitely showing that the downforce helped him through the corners through sector 2, 3, 4. And the last one definitely, but we'll wait and see what it goes here. As he goes up, he's purple for that one, so that's a good start for Captain Muffin 88, or as he likes to go by, Aiden. What he would class as the normal spelt Aiden, with I. If you're out there, Captain Risky watching along, apparently he is the captain. Misses an apex by quite a bit there. Hopefully he doesn't lose too much speed. He's down through that sector, so he's coming down for a low 54 here. Gets on the grass there on driver's right. You don't want to be doing that. That tyres will be then dirty. So close. That's probably running that at that limit before actually hitting the wall. That's massive. That was a massive moment there for Muffin. He was lucky not to hit the wall. Had me on the edge of my seat. Hard on the brakes here, just taps the apex. He carries a lot of speed through that corner, which I think is what he wants essentially. It's a bit hard with the sector time though, you can't see. So at the moment it looks like Speedy Tyres may jump in front of Captain Muffin here, as long as he doesn't runs really hot into there and really loses that rear end of that number 50 CP car. 54.9. So that's massive there from Captain Muffin. His best lap there was a 53.6. So that's over a second and 1.3 seconds from his best time. So that's unfortunate there, and that puts Speedy up into what could be potentially P3. So he'll be starting from P3 or forward. So it just depends on what the other cars do at the moment. But we currently have the reigning champion in Diswood 1 in the number 1 CP Motorsports car. He has undergone a livery change last week, sorry, 2 weeks ago at Bathurst. He's brought out the old number 1 from last year with the gold and matte black. So this is an outstanding looking car, and when it's behind you, it's not exactly the greatest when it's in the sun, because it's just got the gold chrome just shining on you. You've got Link Foz in there, mate. How are ya? Unlucky you didn't get that round win in TS3. You almost had it, but till next time. I reckon you're gonna get it next time. So I believe this is the first of the controller players, as Woodsy goes really deep under brakes there into turn 3, which is not ideally really what you want. I think Woods is just taking it easy here, not trying to burn too much of that rubber. Elevator music. Woodsy come around the last corner here to start his flying lap for his top 6 shootout. So he's currently the 5th car on track. He qualified P2 for this race at the moment. So we'll just wait and see what he's got in the bag with that number 1. Hasn't really settled there through turn 2. The long run down to turn 3. See if he's up to the sector. He's up by just over half a tenth. Doesn't run too deep and keeps a nice momentum up there through that corner. It's really close to that wall on the inside. Hits the grass on the outside. Hopefully it doesn't really hinder his run here. Oh, he's lost a bit of time there through sector 2. Oh, he runs wide. Oh, that's a massive moment there for Woodsy in the number 1 CP car. That's not what he wanted. It's definitely not what Woodsy wanted. He doesn't makes a nice run here onto the straight. I know that he wouldn't be happy with himself after that massive moment there through turn 7, sequence of turn 7 and 8. That's pretty massive there for Woodsy, and that's not what he would have wanted at all. But that might have been the pressure getting to him. I'm not overly sure, but he's pulled it up nicely at the end of the straight. Carried a lot of corner speed. Ooh, runs really close to the limit there on that corner. Sets himself a 54.5. Wow, that's massive there from Woods. That's definitely, I'm certain that's definitely not what he would have wanted on that time. But here we are, we have the 95 in mid, Matt Simmons, 2015 GT Academy winner. He's also raced overseas in the Blank Pain Endurance Series. We are running the tribute livery to Brandos' father. We did get the Bathurst win last 2 weeks ago in the livery, so that was a massive dedication to him. So that's definitely given us some good juju, and hopefully we get it through for this weekend. So we are running that livery again. You know, we asked Brando, you know, do we want to run it? And he goes, yeah, why not? So we'll definitely wait and see what Matt has in store. So looks to be, he's got a lot of Ks under his belt for this track. I will say that. So Matt seems to have chosen a bit of a different warm-up strategy. He seems to be just going 100% through some of the corners and then 100% everywhere else, and not really, you know, weaving as such to warm up the tyres or anything like that. But looks like he's definitely got this thing tuned pretty well for this track. So. Starts the last sector here, getting ready, picturing what he's going to do on this lap to try and put this car as far away up the front as he can, where he would like it for either of us to start the car tomorrow. We'll decide that overnight. But until then. So he's down through sector 1. Car looks very stable coming through this section here. Wait and see. He's up by half a tenth. I'm sure he'd be loving to see those purples. See if he can get it stopped here, and it's all settled for him through these last sectors. Through the last corner, waiting to see. I'm pretty sure this will be a low 53. So 53.268. So it's 2/10 off his fastest times at the moment. So the current order we have is Speedy Tyres in first, Diswood second, Captain Muffin third, John fourth, and Ridwan in fifth. But in saying that, with Matt's latest time, that now puts the 95 on the pole position for tomorrow's race, with Speedy Tyres in the 41 on second, Diswood 1 in the number 1 on third, Captain Muffin in the number 50 on fourth, John in the 34 in fifth, and Ridwan F1 in the 56 in sixth. So solid time there from Matt. And a big congratulations to Matt in setting that time and putting that car in the front row. So he definitely gained a lot of time through that last sector there. That was a pretty massive gain. He just don't miss. Yeah, Link. He's good at his craft, mate. I tell you that much. He's definitely one a master at his craft. So. But until then, thank you everyone for joining, and we shall catch you tomorrow. Coverage will start at just before 9:30. I'm guessing probably roughly about 9:15 Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time, and green flag will go live at 9:30 tomorrow morning. So be sure to join, like, subscribe, hit the follow button, and turn on the notification so we get notification on when we do go live. But until then, thank you for joining myself in the stream for the St Croix 1500 shootout, and I shall see you. Sorry, It's Racing shall see you tomorrow morning. Until then,